But yeah, guys, thank y'all for stopping in for us to do this Ultimate Final Fantasy game tier list. What game shall we start off first, guys? I was thinking FF1. I don't know if we should. Maybe we should go backwards, maybe at 15 all the way down, but I don't know. See, we want to do 7 last. FF4 the after years, bro. FF4 the after years is trash, bro. Trash. Do them in order. All right. Final Fantasy 1, guys. What we got for Final Fantasy 1? I'm personally gonna say it's S tier. Without them, it wouldn't be. There would be no other Final Fantasies. So how could we not put that at S tier? At least an A or an S. Super solid, yeah, super solid even for back then. Like, I don't think it was really missing anything for that era. So I'm definitely thinking S for that. So we got to add the Final Fantasy 1. Now Final Fantasy 2, this is a hard one right here because kind of sucks. Dick tier, dude. I know, right? I'm thinking there's worse games than FF2 though. The leveling system is awful. It was awful. Is it D tier though? Is it like there is a story? Is it worse than say the After Years? I don't know, man. I'm thinking it might not be. That's like many of the sequels of the day. They tried something different. Exactly. I'm thinking it's gonna be a C. I'm thinking it's going to be a C, guys, because FF2 at least tried to do something different, man. It tried to do something different. Granted, it didn't do it well. They had some masochistic leveling system. But they tried it. So I got to put it at that C, guys. It's got to be C. Now, next up, we got this FF3. Now, FF13 better be A tier. It'll be a tier. I don't know if it's going to be A tier. Maybe 13 too. Final Fantasy 3. I'm thinking it's going to be maybe a B, man. Do it again. Try something to improve on the next. Yeah, exactly. Like, one thing that Final Fantasy has always done is try to improve their stuff. Like, none of them are really the same if you think about it. FF4 had different stuff from FF3. FF3 was awesome. I'm thinking A for FF3 because if there was no FF3, guys, there would be absolutely no FF5. FF5 wouldn't be even in existence. And we already know how Kitsune thinks about 5. Where he took the failure of 2 and tried a different way to customize. Exactly. Yo, this is my boy right here, Nakey Kitsune Puppy, man. He is awesome. I'm thinking 3 is going to be an A. No doubt it's an A. All right, we got Final Fantasy IV coming up next. I'm thinking that's personally going to be an A. It's a really good one. It's not my favorite. I can appreciate the good story. I do think that the PSP, if we're going by PSP and not the Game Boy Advance or the original, I would say S. But 4, I'm thinking A. 4 was good. 4 was really good, and the PSP version made it even better with static classes, but with more story. That is true. Yeah, it definitely had more story with the static classes, and with the PSP version, you could actually change out those classes. So I am gonna put FF4 for S. FF4 PSP was better. It really was. I'm thinking. Yeah, the characters are so good, and the Final Fantasy IV graphics on the PSP personally had, in my opinion, the best looking graphics, best looking pixel graphics of any Final Fantasy game, probably any pixel game I've ever seen. That and the Final Fantasy 1 PSP, like those character sprites and what they did to improve on all that stuff, incredible. So it's gonna be an S. J2E is best edition. What is J2E? Just too easy? edition or something. All right, next up, we got that Final Fantasy V. Now, Final Fantasy V took Final Fantasy III, which was an A, improved on the story a little bit. It didn't have the greatest story, but it had the customization of Final Fantasy III, and even improved on that. So much that the newer editions added new classes. I don't want to make every game FF Mystic Quest S tier. S tier for shit, maybe, bro. I'm thinking FF5 is going to be an S. I hate that we're going to have tons of S's because we're all Final Fantasy fans here, you know? But I'm thinking FF5's got to be S. I mean, the other one is already A. And it improved on that. They're good-ass games. Final Fantasy, it makes some good-ass games. For most of them. Back from a radio. Welcome back, Stan. Welcome back. So we got Final Fantasy 1. We got Final Fantasy 4 and 5 at S. We got Final Fantasy 3 at A. We got Final Fantasy 2 at C so far. Now coming up is my personal favorite, Final Fantasy 6. Yet again, it did exactly what Kitsune said. It took them static classes and added more story. It was a little bloated with characters. There were some that they didn't need to add in there. There's no need for Umaro. There's honestly no need for a few of the characters in that game, but they were in there. I think it's still, I think, the biggest roster of any of the Final Fantasy games to date. Got shiny Eevee earlier. Nice, bro. Nice. How hard is it to get the shiny Eevees? And also that emote, dude. I love it. I love that emote. But you don't like the Esper system? The Esper system was a little gimmicky. Having to level up to get the stat points that you wanted and all that kind of sucked. But we're going to put Final Fantasy 6 at that S tier. Now next we got Final Fantasy 7, the original. Now we have Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Crisis Core, and the Vincent one, Dirge of Cerberus. Did everyone be a magic user? It did, unless you purposely meant for your characters to not use the Espers or the magics. You basically had one person with the 8+ or the 8 times attack, and then you had everybody else using magic. That's basically how that game went. Without 7, Final Fantasy would have died in the West. Oh, no doubt, bro. That's what I was thinking about in the shower, Zessel. Without Final Fantasy 7, I at least have to put the FF7 original at an A. I don't like 7, but I can appreciate that if FF8 came out before FF7, I can't even speak, bro. If FF8 came out before FF7, Final Fantasy in the West would be absolutely dead. Done so. They wouldn't release another one because FF8 was kind of crappy. But it is what it is. But I'm thinking FF7, the original, has got to be an A. It's definitely an A. Fanboys, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. But hey, that's what it's got to be. Yo, what up, Chrono? How you doing tonight, bro? How you doing? How was work, man? Now we have Dirge of Cerberus. I've heard some good, I've heard some bad about this game. I'm thinking it might be a B. Personally, I really enjoyed when it came out and how it looked, but there were flaws to the game. Your fanboy and 7 belongs in 8. Yeah, absolutely. Really started the stupid mini games. Yeah. Final Fantasy 7 really had way too many mini games, in my opinion. Like, optional mini games to progress, stuff like that is okay, but not to the extent that they took it. Dirge is D. I'm thinking it's gonna be a C because it wasn't as bad as some of them. So I'm thinking C, guys. Now next up we got a Crisis Core. Now I played part of this and I'm thinking it's at least a B or an A because it was good. You had Zach. They expanded on the story, and they actually did that right. We got a B. We got an A. I'm thinking it's going to be at least... I'm thinking a B. I'm really thinking it's going to be a B. Because it wasn't on the same tier as Final Fantasy VII as far as what it did for the genre and all that. Only a good FF7 things was slap minigame. There was a slap minigame in FF7. Oh, Lord. All right, so we're going to add that to that B. I'm going to make a controversial statement. Oh, snap, Steakhouse. What you going to make? If FF7 was S where it belongs, and CC would be A. Oh, God. Oh, God. Now, we got the FF7 remake, guys. Graphically, by far the most beautiful game Final Fantasy has ever created. Or most beautiful Final Fantasy they got out right now. Also, I've heard good and bad things about it. Some people didn't like the game system. Awful game. Dang. We gonna rate that a B? Chrono's got that D. Uh-oh. Graphics don't mean shit by itself. That is true. Now, are we saying B? But it has Tifa and her assets. F for incomplete. Yeah, I don't like... That's my major drawback. I don't think it's as good as the original FF7, which I still haven't beaten. But I'm thinking a B, guys. FF7 unites the FF7 universe so and makes everything make sense. Well, her assets. Well, I'll be back in a bit. Hey, thank you, MG. Have a fantastic time until we see you again. Appreciate you. It's gonna be a B, guys. Let's release a partial game. Let's do what all game creators do nowadays and release a quarter of a game and then add DLC for everything else or additional games. Kind of sucks. That's why I love the older games way more. The game took up all the game disc. Well, they could have added more game discs. You know what I mean, Zessel? They have other games. Like they could do exactly what they did with the PS1 and all that, but that's besides the point. It's gonna be a B where it belongs. Next up, the most controversially bad and good Final Fantasy. It had triple triad. It had my boy Feare. It had gunblades. Who the hell don't like gunblades? But it also has straight garbage story. Convoluted story. Weird relationship between Renoa and Squall. Yo, what up, Neum? How you doing, homie? 8 was boring to watch. It was just as boring to watch as it was to play.
You serve me now.
Yo, what's good, bro? And what's up, Iron Ocean? How you doing? With them doing it in parts, but I'm glad they're taking entire time to do it in parts. If not, it'll be 2035. Yeah, it would be 2035. They're gonna change the whole FF7. Yeah. So I'm thinking that they don't kill Aerith in the FF7 remake. We can debate this all you want, but I'm really thinking that they're going to change it to where she doesn't die. FF8 sucks. Yeah, FF8, we got an A tier, we got a D tier, we got tons. I'm thinking it's going to be a C tier. We got worse games, bro. Well, I don't know. Maybe a way to bring her back. Maybe, but I don't think they're going to kill her. Hey, Chrono's like, hey, I'm thinking C, bro. I'm thinking C. I'm really thinking C. If Aerith doesn't die, then it would be trash. Yeah, no doubt. Part of the climax. But I don't know. Like, they've already changed so much, Neum. They've already changed so much in the game. It wouldn't surprise me if they spun it to where, like, Yuffie dies or something. You know what I mean? I don't know how they do it. FF8 is B tier. Junction Magic was fun. Draw was fun. Draw was fun. Junction was fun, kind of, to an extent. And I agree with you, Kitsune. Cats and Pepper, it's hard to do this. You have an FF7 tattoo? My opinion is void here. I got you, Iron Ocean. I feel you. Way to bring her back at the end will be okay, though. It would, yeah. Kind of like Dragon Quest 11. does with old Shorty. FF8. It's either a D or a C, man. It's either a D or a C. Like, it had by far the coolest mini game, card game of this series. So I'm thinking it's going to be a C, guys. There's good parts of it. Unless Ketsu was playing it wrong. He might have been playing it wrong. Sit there on Turbo, I guess. Yeah, basically. The twist is Cloud and Yuffie fucking gets thrown in jail for... Damn, crowd, that'd be crazy. FF8 can get a low grade. The battle system is bad. It is. It's pretty one-dimensional. It's gonna get that C. It's just how we're putting in a C. Yeah. I played it as a kid, and I never got to the last boss. Well, I got to the last boss, and I couldn't beat it. So I said, you know what? F this game. I'm done. Next up, we got the game with my favorite character in the series. Vivi and Beatrix. FF9 is S. I'm thinking it's an A, bro. I'm thinking it's an A. There's good parts of it and bad. FF8, the monsters level with you. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. That was kind of cool. I'm thinking it's an A. We can debate it. FF9 is real good though. Wait, yeah. FF9 is really good, but they should have had Beatrix as a main character that you could recruit. Yo, Zang, what's good, homie? And a second favorite has to be an A or above. Yeah. It's an A or a B. Aiko was kind of... You haven't played it? Oh, snap. No spoilers, please. FF9. Oh, okay. Okay, Neum. You can't play one of the main characters. Two of the characters are kind of crap. It's gonna have to be an A. It's gonna have to be an A. It had a really terrible card game, but it was really good. But see, then again, what does it do of getting out of... The one thing I really loved about FF9, the one thing I really loved about FF9 is it started with cutesy graphics. It starts with cutesy graphics. And it ends with a whole, like a crazy story. Waiting for work schedule to become regularly, make stream schedule. Heck yeah, Neum. Heck yeah, bro. Need to add a picture of Titus to create another rank. I would if I could, but I've already made this template. So yeah. So I'm thinking it's actually going to be a B, guys. I love Final Fantasy IX just as good and as much as everybody, but there's certain things that are kind of bad. It didn't do much for the series, so I'm ranking it kind of lower. Only FF I never finished after starting it was 12. I played and beat 12. I couldn't play through the remake that they, the remaster. And to add icing to the work, the hurricane is coming and they started working this Wednesday. Oof. Alright guys, coming up now. Never know if it's going to shut down again. I hope it doesn't, Neum. I hope it doesn't. It's a meme. Yeah, it's a meme. Absolutely. Next up, we got FF10. This is one of my favorites. It is a little bit long. That could be good. That could be bad. There was so much in that game. There's no tier but S tier. Chrono, what type of chicken you eating? I'm thinking it's an S, man. I'm thinking it's an S. Really thinking it's an S. I didn't care about any character in FF12. I tried 3 times and never got far. Barbecue A, nice, Chrono. Where's mine, bro? The first FF that got English voice. Exactly. 10 has a really good battle theme. It does, Kitsune. It has a really good story. And let's be honest, guys. It has Lulu. It's an S. It's an S. Where's Dimensions? Man, I was about to add it and I completely forgot, bro. I completely forgot. We'll talk about Dimensions after. Next up, we got Final Fantasy X-2. You wait till I render this. Oh, snap, Zessel. We got Final Fantasy X-2. The game that took Blitzball, completely crapped on it. The game that took the battle system, added some cool little things, but ultimately failed. Ultimately failed at it. But it has Pain, it has Riku, it has Yuna, it has some other ones. They have extra classes, but it didn't, the problem is it didn't even do as good with FF10-2 as it did with FF5. It's a D. It's out of here. It's a D. Next up, we got Final Fantasy 12. I got a love-hate relationship with 12. My problem with 12 is two of the main characters shouldn't even be in it. I think it's Vaughn and Pinello. Get them out of here. They're terrible. Terrible characters. Add what's his name? Homeboy with the whatchamacallit. Add the homeboy with the gun and
Vaughn.
the furry creature.
Damn it, Vaughn.
And the MMO wannabe, absolutely. Now, if it was part of the MMO, it'd be different, but it ain't. It's a C rank. It's a C rank. Cool story, but C rank. It's out of here. Now we back. I just extremely dislike 12. I don't blame you. I like the character that dies in the very beginning of the game on 12 better than I liked Vaughn. And you barely get any story of the very beginning. Rex, you barely get any story of him, but yet I still instantly liked him more than Vaughn. Ain't that crazy? Insane. Now we got 13. Final Fantasy 13. I'm thinking FF13 is going to be a C tier. It was basically a movie. It was basically a Final Fantasy movie. Had to force myself to play 12 and 13. It's a G tier. FF13 is so pretty. It is. FF13 is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. No doubt about it. The game wouldn't change if Vaughn was there or not. Exactly. The game would not change at all if Vaughn was not there. Only thing that saves 13 is his battle theme. I mean, the battle system in 13 was good. The story, though, and the fact that it is a movie, it's... I don't want to be a meme. I don't want to meme this and make it a D. It's a C, man. It's got to be a C. Next we have 13.2, which I actually really like. 13.2. My issue with 13.2 is they advertise with lightning on the front cover. You barely play as her in the entire game. In the entire game, you play as some emo dude, and you play as the sister. Kind of cool concept. It's basically Chrono Trigger meets Final Fantasy. I'm thinking that's going to be a B, because it took what Final Fantasy did wrong and improved on it. And it's way better than 13 was. So 13.2 is absolutely going to be a B. Next we have 13.3. Woo boy, this game, 13.3. This is like Sherlock Holmes meets Lightning. Straight up booty juice, straight up dumpster fire. I don't care if you can get little cool costumes. She is not a detective. Why we gotta do detective stuff in a Final Fantasy game? For the entire game. It's a D tier. Get that heap and pile of trash out of here. Next we have 15. Then played Lightning Returns again. I played it like for about an hour, so maybe it gets better. Maybe it gets better. I don't think it does. Is there a tier lower than D? Nah, D is the worst. D is the dick tier. We got Final Fantasy 15. The emo boy band edition. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about the complete edition. We're not going to talk about when it first came out, because it's all out now. We're going to talk about the game as a whole. I'm thinking it's an A. I'm thinking it's an A because they did so much with that game at post when it first came out. So like, if we were comparing it, if we were rating it when it first came out, oh, it'd be a B, it'd be a C tier, no doubt. It would be a C tier. If you see it now, I'd say it's an A tier. It's got a mini MMO. It expands on the story. So like, you get Arden, you get all the other characters that you didn't get much of a story with. It's, in my opinion, I think it's the only game that had a movie with it. So it even had a movie with it, which I really liked it. Got an ass load of expensive DLC. It does, but if you get the complete edition, but yeah, success of FF15 was a springboard for FF7 yeah, exactly. FF7 Advent Children, you scrub. Wait. You right, Kraysith. You right. Damn, I didn't even think of that. All right, it's the second one. Brandon. It's the second one. No FF14. I didn't add the MMOs because it's hard to rate those with... I don't really see MMO RPGs as being RPGs. FF14 is a little different. It has a huge story. But when you start adding in MMOs, it gets a little dicey. FF5 had an anime. Did it really, Zessel? I'm going to have to look that up. But FF14 has such a strong story. It does. An add-on to 13, wasn't it, that they scrapped and made a full game? Yeah, there was Type O HD, which I didn't even add that one. It was a completely different type of game style too. I should have probably added that one, but it would have probably been a C tier anyway. Wasn't that great. But yeah, I'm saying 15 is going to be an A tier. Now we come to the last one, guys. The After Years. Final Fantasy IV. AKA, other than the bravest, all the bravest. Other than all the bravest, this is the worst Final Fantasy I've ever played. This game took Final Fantasy IV, completely dropped a deuce on everything that FF4 made. It felt more like a fan game than anything. Yo, what's good, Lambo? How you doing? Thought FF15 was originally called Versus 13 years before it came out. It might have been. I'm not sure. The After Years S tier, because at least with ATB, you knew it was going to suck. That is true. The After Years has to be a D, but there's so many reasons why the After Years is straight trash. The moon system was kind of neat. There was a lot of characters, which is kind of cool. There was so many scripted battles. There's so many scripted battles on FF for the After Years that literally you would just die just to see if it's a scripted battle. That's an issue when a game has that much predictability and that much to where you're thinking that. There's an issue. There's like 4 ending bosses. Kind of crazy. What's good? What you mean the original was bad? Nah, Jose, you crazy.
Final Fantasy IV The After Years is the worst RPG on the planet. Only Bubbers296 actually enjoys it.
But see, not really, Jose. I mean, Edward wasn't garbage in FF4 as long as you got all his stuff. The ending was so long in FF4 The After Years. All right, can I go play on an S tier FF game? Exactly, Steakhouse. Do it, buddy. It's a D, guys. There's nothing. Name one redeeming quality. One redeeming quality to Final Fantasy IV The After Years. Edward in the original SNES Japanese copy was awesome. Was it? Your stream came up on playing FF7 again as we speak. Nice, bro. Nice. Hell yeah. It's a D tier though. There's no redeeming qualities to it. It's out of here. Get that trash out of here. So ending on it, we got FF1, FF4, 5, 6, and 10 as S. The little girl is so cute. Which one? Yeah, Chrono, dude, the best emote. The Dryad? The little alien girl. Oh, the one you destroy. Got you. The one that is the enemy. In A, we got 3, 7, and 15. In B, we got Crisis Core. We got the remake of FF7, 9 and 13 too. For C, we got Booty Cheeks FF2, Dirge of Cerberus, 8, 12, and 13. And on D tier, we got 10-2, 13-3, aka Sherlock Holmes Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy IV The After Years. That's what we got, guys. That's the end of that. Now, Final Fantasy Dimensions would be, I would say, an A tier, Jose. It would be an A tier, I think, because it's really good. This isn't the main character. Rosa wasn't there for 100% of the game. We should focus to Edge, Rydia, and Golbez. I don't know. I would say it's A tier. Yeah, it's definitely A tier. Now, Final Fantasy Dimensions 2, trash. It's D.